All right, guys, welcome to our Team Liberate call. It is Wednesday, May 15th. I know I threw like a curveball. I just felt like Monday. So basically what's happening is some of the leaders on this team and I had this great idea and I roped in a bunch of people to help me lead these calls so that they're very like topic based, and so that we can all, learn from one another and really feel that we are getting as much as possible as we can out of the calls. So you'll see in the monthly marketing calendars, we're still going to do I still like the power hour or the power invite sesh to start the month every Monday. And then the second and third, sometimes 3 weeks in between, depending on how long the month is, will be like topic-based calls like this one. And then the last Monday of every month will still be the Coach Basics. And then we have the Push to Emerald every other Tuesday before the Team Boom call at 7:30 p.m. Eastern time. So we were just starting this. This is our first time doing it. So I'm kicking it off, and I just felt like it's a busy time of year. And I felt like I wanted more time to kind of get my ducks in a row for my topic today. But also I just feel like it's just a kind of a busy time of year. And I'm kind of wondering, I don't know if Wednesday, I don't know. I'm just kind of playing with a couple things. So I decided to try a Wednesday call this week to see how that goes. And that's why we are here on Wednesday instead of Monday. So I appreciate you being flexible, and I appreciate you being here, even though I threw that curveball at you. So before we get into the meat of this call, I'm just going to, and I get out of breath really easy now, you'll see. I'm just going to head over to the team page, and I'm just going to pop up the recognition. So it is we're like right in the middle of May, which is awesome. It is a longer month this month. We do have 5 pay periods in May, if you didn't already know that. I'm always ahead of how many Thursdays there are in every month. We have 5 paydays in May. Our coach of the week this week was our very own Kelsey Connor. Kelsey is just like, she just crushes it in general, but I really felt like this week, I know she has a lot going on in her life, and you'll see she's on the left side of our SC board, meaning she's already hit Success Club. And she just continues to show up for us, show up for her clients, and show up for her followers. She's definitely leans in. She's one of those people who you will find leaning into her business when things get hard and things get busy and things get exhausting, rather than using life's busyness as an excuse to put her business to the side. So I really respect that about you, Kelsey, and I think that's an amazing, amazing, amazing example for all of us. So I wanted to give Kelsey a shout out for being coach of the week. And then, like I said, to the left of the board, so to the left is people who have already hit Success Club. So, in that Coach Basics call, we talk about what exactly is Success Club. It means you're hitting that 5-point or higher bar. Once you've hit 5, you've kind of hit Success Club. And you want to keep pushing once you've hit. So like Christina, Kelsey, Erin, and Markella, who have already hit it, I'm sure they are continuing to go, and push the rest of the month. They're not just kind of settling for having hit it. They're going to keep going and changing as many lives as possible. But essentially, once you've changed 3 new lives in the month, you've hit Success Club 6, and that's kind of like the bar. So Christina, Kelsey, Erin, and Markella are all already at 6. And then on the right, almost there, we have Kelly, myself, Pam, and Randy all at 2, meaning we've all helped 1 person. So we have at least 2 more lives to change this month before we've hit Success Club. And like I said, we're only mid-May, so we still have a solid 2 weeks for everybody else who is not yet on the board to continue sending those invites, which is what we're going to talk about tonight, and continue to change lives. So I'm going to share my screen. So like I said, a bunch of the leaders and I, we're going to be taking turns over the next few months, kind of see how this goes, to really kind of hone in on specific topics that either we think we're, pretty good at, we have a lot to offer, or what we see some other people on our teams are struggling with and really could benefit from. So that's why a couple weeks ago, you might remember, I put out a poll about like things that you might be interested in for call topics. And so I figured I would start with inviting for our first one to kind of, get the ball rolling. Because I know we do have a lot of newer coaches on this team, but also I think a lot of this is a really good reminder. And I think there's some really good nuggets in here for coaches who are even, more veteran coaches who have been here for a while. So some of this call is a little bit of tough love. I know I need it time to time myself. So just kind of bear with me a little bit. So I tried to throw this together to kind of keep my thoughts in order. I am going to pull up my notes though on my phone just in case. And if you have any questions, please unmute yourself. Everybody's just muted for background noise. I would love, like any other call, I know I always say this, I would love for this to be more of an interactive thing. If you have a question, it's better to ask like in the moment, because it's more, it makes more sense like in the moment. And I'm sure if you have a question, other people probably have the same question. Okay, here we go. All right, so getting over the fear of inviting. I know inviting can often seem scary, overwhelming, daunting. I know, I've been there. I've been a coach for 4 years now. When I first started, inviting's scary. It seems scary, but I'm hoping that after we chat tonight, you'll see that it doesn't have to be and why it shouldn't be. So inviting is the bread and the butter of this business. Like literally, you cannot have a business unless you're inviting. So like you need to kind of give yourself a little bit of that tough love. Like, are your goals in this business, is your why in this business matching your invite actions? Like how big are your goals? If you have big, hairy, scary goals, sending 2 or 3 invites a day is not going to cut it. I'm just going to be honest with you. It's just not going to, it's not. Believe me, it's going to work eventually. This business is inevitable as long as you stay the course. But if you have big, hairy, scary goals and you want to get there in like a year or 2, you got to be sending more than 2 or 3 invites. You have to be sending more than 2 or 3 invites more than 2 or 3 times a week. Like you have to up your numbers and you have to up your your rate, your times of, how many times you're doing it every week. Inviting is important. It's not scary, even though you might think that right this second. I'm hoping by the end of this, you'll see that it's not scary. We're going to go over how you can invite, making it a daily vital, like a non-negotiable. Inviting is the only way you're going to move your business forward, and how you're going to reap the benefits of that action. So, when we think of inviting, there's definitely a mindset piece, and then there's the actual logistics, like the mechanics of it. So the mindset is going back to inviting isn't scary. Inviting is just what's necessary in this business. It's part of this business. And so we're going to kind of go over that at first, the mindset piece, and kind of getting over that hurdle, getting over the fear, getting over, why you're probably nervous to do it. And then we're going to go into a little bit of the logistics and the mechanics and how bringing those two together is going to make a huge difference in your business. All right. So show me, let me see if I can change my screen here. Okay. So show me with your hands. Have you ever been nervous to send an invite because, number 1, you're afraid of what someone will think of you? Put them up. Are you afraid ever? Not just like recently, but ever. Okay. I think we can all agree. Number 2, have you ever been nervous to send an invite because you're afraid? This one's a little bit more involved. You're afraid because you think that they're going to think that you're just trying to sell them on something. Salesy. Yeah, we're afraid to be salesy. Perfect. I think we've all been there. I think even as more veteran coaches, we all kind of get back into that mindset from here, here or there. I think it's very easy to kind of slip back into those old habits. But like anything else, the more you do this, the more consistent you are, the more you're going to see that that's not the case. And you're going to find that you fall into that slump less and less. Okay. So I think
Rose, can I add one more?
Of course, please do.
So cause for me, like, and I don't remember, like it was a long time ago when I started coaching. So I don't remember, I may have been afraid of inviting at one point, but so for me, like, I don't get afraid of inviting somebody new.
Mm-hmm.
I think what bugs me, or what I find is most, holds me back the most, would be inviting somebody again. Like those people that you invited maybe 2-3 times because for whatever reason, they keep watching your shit. They keep liking your shit. They keep, they keep dangling stuff at you. And then you're just like, you jump right in, and then you're like, it's like every time they like something, it's like I take the bait.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's kind of like, ugh. And then you just second guess, like, what do I say? Do I just, I already sent them this script. Now I have to come up with a brand new script for them. Mm-hmm. And like, it's like, I don't know. That's the problem I have the most. Like, I don't have a problem with following up with somebody who's legitimately interested.
Yep.
But then it's just that person who keeps showing like mild interest. It's like, what do you do then?
I think with that, I mean, I don't think there's any perfect answer, but my initial reaction or thought with that is timing. Just because they're watching your stuff doesn't mean they're ready today. Mm. But it also doesn't mean they're not going to be ready in 6 months.
Yeah.
But it all, and we're going to get into this. It's less about you and more about them. Hold your thoughts. Let's come back to that. Okay. So I think we're all here because we want to help people, right? I mean, I hope that we all have more of a why and more of a drive than just that. But I mean, in this business, we're here to help. We're helping ourselves, but we're also helping other people. We're helping people change their life, both with health and fitness and both with the business. So if you truly want to help people, and kind of, Joe, this is, jumping right into this. If you truly want to help people, you have to get comfortable with getting uncomfortable. It might be uncomfortable for you to invite somebody brand new. Like if you're a new coach and inviting is uncomfortable for you, well, like suck it up, buttercup, because that's what this business is. This business is inviting, and you can't help people change their life unless you invite them. It's very, very, very rare that people are going to reach out to you. It just, once in a blue moon, you're going to get someone who's like, you know what, I've been watching your story, I'm ready, or somebody from high school or somebody's friend's neighbor, sister's brother, and it's just going to like work out, and you're going to get 2 Success Club points, and it's going to be awesome. But unfortunately, that's not usually how it's going to go. Usually, you as the coach have to get uncomfortable and message these people, even if it means that you went to high school with them and you're not sure what they think of you, or even if it means that they're watching your stuff and this is the 3rd time you're inviting them, because maybe they're not answering you because they're nervous. Maybe they're not answering you because they don't want to be honest and tell you that they don't have the money right now, but they truly are interested. Maybe their relative's been really sick, but they're still really intrigued. So it goes back to like, it's not about you. It's not about you being uncomfortable. It's not about you having to come up with a new script or any of that. It's about putting yourself out there so that you can help them, because you can't help them unless you put yourself out there. And if that means getting uncomfortable, and that's what it means. That's part of this job. This job is awesome, but it can also be uncomfortable, but you just have to be okay with that. Most people aren't going to say yes the first time they're invited. It's just not. Again, sometimes you're going to get these like unicorn people who are like, yeah, awesome, I've been watching you for about 3 days and I'm ready. And they're going to jump in and you're like, holy shit, I love this job. This is so easy. This is awesome. But for the majority of people, that's just not the way it goes. You're going to need to continue to invite them until, this is it, till the time is right for them. So when you invite them the first time, maybe the time's not right. And maybe they're not even going to answer you back. A lot of people just I don't know, they just don't. So you're going to invite them a second time. And maybe the timing still isn't right, but they're still genuinely curious enough to be watching your stuff. So even if the time is right for you, even if you're thinking about your Success Club points, even if you're thinking about I haven't had anybody sign up in a while, I'm ready to help a couple people, I'm ready to take on some new clients, I'm ready to have some fresh blood in my group, I just revamped my getting started email, I'm ready to have some new people. Just because you're ready doesn't mean that they're ready. And it sucks, because we're always ready, right? We're always ready to help change a life. We're always ready for those 2 Success Club points. We're always ready to have some new people join our club. We're always ready to have that possible person who's going to be a rock star, who's going to turn into a business builder on our team, and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But just because it's right for you doesn't mean it's right for them. And most likely it's not going to be right for them the first time that you invite them. People are counting on us to change their life. So even though you probably don't know them, or maybe you knew them back in high school, but you haven't talked to them in 20 years, they're still counting on us to change their life. And while it's going to change, and while in the process, it's going to change your life too. You're going to be changing their life. And as a result, you're probably also going to be changing the lives of other people in their life, other people around them. For example, if you're helping a really busy mom who, just doesn't yet see the value in meal planning and prepping, and then you help her, chances are you're probably going to be having some sort of an effect on her husband. And you're probably going to be having some sort of effect on the way her kids are eating. It's kind of like a domino effect. And then maybe she loses 50 pounds and she feels amazing, and her sister asks her what she's doing. And then her sister gets on board, and her sister's daughter's teacher, it's like a domino effect. But think of all those lives that you can and you will change, but it's not going to happen unless you put yourself out there. People are not going to come to you. So even though it might be uncomfortable for you at first, it's like a muscle, like any other muscle. The more you do it, and the more you can see the value in it for the other person, more than you see the fear or the uncomfortableness for yourself. If you can see the value for them more than you can see or feel how uncomfortable it is for you, the more you're going to invite, because the more comfortable you're going to be with it, and you're going to get over it pretty quickly. And you're going to see that you can help that many more people. This kind of gets your, right there in the gut. By choosing not to invite, you're robbing someone of the opportunity to change their life. So if you are, and I do this all the time. This PowerPoint is just for as much for me as it is for you. Putting this together, I was like, shit, I am 100% guilty of this also. Going through your, your view, your Instagram story viewers. And when you judge a book by its cover, or you are, giving somebody an out because you went to high school with them and you know that they were really athletic and they probably don't need this. You have no idea 25 years later, what their life is like and what they really need. And remember too that we're not just, we're not selling, but for lack of a better word, we're not just selling health and fitness. We're selling this community. We're selling the relationships. We're selling the friendships. We're selling the travel opportunity. There's so much more here than just Shakeology and working out from home. You never know how much someone needs what we have to offer, whether it be health and fitness or the business or the community or whatever. But when you're going through your Instagram followers and you're like, nope, not this person. Ooh, I don't want to know what she would think of me. Oh, we didn't get along in college. I'm not going to even put myself out there. Like, you're robbing them of the opportunity to change their life. And chances are, if you don't invite somebody, somebody else will. You know, like if you tell yourself that you can't invite this person for X, Y, and Z reason, for now, you're robbing them of the opportunity to change their life. But how pissed would you be if in like 2 months you saw on their Facebook page or their Instagram page that they just joined this amazing community and they've lost 25 pounds and they're feeling awesome? You'd be like, oh shit. And then 2 months after that, you see them coaching. And then 2 months after that, you see them like becoming like a serious top coach. How pissed would you be? Just because you couldn't get over yourself to invite them because of whatever, something probably really silly. Or just assuming that they have it all together, or assuming that they're really fit, or assuming that they're going to judge you. But again, it goes back to wanting to help them more and getting over that uncomfortableness more so than you care about what they're going to think about you, because you know that that's your job as a coach, is to put yourself out there. So that's kind of like the mindset. Like, you know, getting over the fear, knowing that it's more about them and them changing their life and you playing a role in that, rather than how you're going to feel inviting them or how you're going to feel if they say no. Like, who gives a crap? The answer is always no if you don't invite. Like, if you don't ask, the answer is always freaking no. Always. You have to ask. So that's all like the mindset piece. And then this part is more of like the actual mechanics. Like, okay, so what are we doing every day? Okay, so stories every single day. I tend to get into this habit of like skipping a day. I just like, sometimes on the weekends I feel like, I don't know. But so again, this is just as much for me as it is for you, but stories every single day. These are, and again, I'm working on all this myself, especially too with the tracker. I love how the tracker really like bullets exactly what you should have in your stories. And this is probably a lot. I actually didn't kind of cross-reference, but this is probably a lot of the same stuff. So workout clips. So every day that you're working out, you should have a story about it. That's a huge part of our business. So you should be showing what you're doing. It's showing that you're being a product of the product. It's giving people a little bit of a snippet as to like what these home programs are all about. Like, some people have no clue what to expect. I try to do mine at like different angles. So like sometimes I'm just kind of showing me, other times I'm showing me with my TV in the background, trying to show like different moves, different workouts, just to kind of give people little tidbits of info in case you have to think as if someone has no idea what it is that we do and what we have to offer. So your stories are a way to give them a little bit of information so that they're more likely to say yes, because they're going to have more insight as to, you know, what they're saying yes to. So workout clip. The app that a lot of us use is Triller, Triller. That's where we're putting, you know, so I'll take like 3 or 4 15-second clips and I put them together in Triller, and that's when it does like the that's when it does like the music video. So it like does like 2 seconds of this one, 2 seconds, and then back to this one, and then you can add like music and stuff. That's like my go-to a lot. Number 2 for your stories every day is a product without the label. I think there's some coaches who would argue labels are okay. I'm more of an advocate of, I don't think there's a right or wrong, but I prefer not to do a label. So like Energize is an easy one. If you're working out, show your Energize every day. Recover afterwards, Beach Bars, obviously Shakeology, the containers, like just any of our products without the label. It's called curiosity marketing. You want people to be curious about what it is that you're using, taking, eating, drinking, so that they are more inclined to message you. And then when they message you, that gives you the opportunity to chat with them about what you're doing, rather than being like, oh, it's Energized, and then they're going to go to, Amazon and get it, or they're going to go to teambeachbody.com and buy it from a random coach, because you have to remember, other people who aren't coaches don't necessarily totally understand the whole coach network. They don't get it. So you want the opportunity for them to come to you so that you can have that conversation with them. Also, price plays a factor. If they come to you and you can talk to them about it, and you can, converse with them and let them see the value in what they'd be buying, rather than them going right to beachbody.com and being like, oh, Energize is $50, no way. But if you can talk to them and have that conversation, have that opportunity to kind of have that back and forth, and you can teach them that it's all natural and whatever, then they're going to be more inclined to follow through and buy it. Something that will add value to the person you're speaking to. So always think about, in your stories, who are you speaking to? If you're speaking to everyone, you're speaking to no one. Like, what is your target market? Who are you speaking to? My niche is moms. So I'm probably not going to talk about, I don't know, something related to like something more like manly or whatever, or someone who doesn't have kids. Like, I'm talking a lot about kid stuff, because my kid stuff can add a lot of value, whether it's surface level or not, to my target market. Like, I talk about my son's bento box, like his little lunch box thing. I talk about it all the time, and I get messages about it all the time, because other moms want to be able to pack an easy, healthy lunch for their kid too. It's relatable. Talk to the camera. I got away from this for a while, and I'm getting back to it. Even if it's just 1 or 2 short clips every day, just talk to the camera, and talk to the camera as if it's your best friend. Because this is what's going to allow people to get to know you and like your personality. They want to hear your voice, rather than just still shots, one right after the other. Because when people feel like they get to know you, that's when they're going to learn to like you, and then they can trust you, and then that's when they're going to join you and buy from you. So talking and doing video is going to really up the ante when it comes to people really feeling like they're getting to know you. Also, when people can really get to know you and know the real you, I think it allows you to feel as though, if you don't already feel this way, that you don't have to do as much forming, in your initial convos and stuff. I don't do much forming at all, because I feel like without me even knowing it, people are getting to know me really well through my stories and through talking and my videos and stuff. So it's once we connect and I know that they've watched some of my stories for a few days, I've been posting consistently, posting my whole brand. I'm not just vomiting Beachbody or workouts. It's almost kind of like forming for me. So that, use that to your benefit as well. And then talk about what we do as coaches. At some, just a snippet. You don't have to talk to the camera about coaching, although you can. After we get off of here, I'll probably do a quick story about how, I was getting ready to lead our team call. If you're on here now, to take a quick snapshot of all of us on the thing, and, do a quick story about how it's Wednesday night, team call night, and, the community is great at blah, 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 something little snippets. It's called breadcrumbing. It's you don't have to give the whole story, but it's just a little snippet here and there. And then tomorrow, maybe do a little snippet of your PD. And then the next day, do a little snippet of, what you sat down and, do bullet points of what you did during your power hour or whatever. Just little snippets to give people little bits of information about what we do as coaches. Because if someone's thinking about coaching, any of your stories related to coaching are going to give them that little bit of information that might kind of put them over the edge and, want to join your Coach Nikki or whatever. It's just, and not to mention, it's part of who you are. It's part of your brand. So you should be showing it because it's something you're doing every day. Any questions so far? No? Okay. Yeah, I was just, for a second there, I thought it wasn't recording. Okay. Daily posts. So stories, posts, and private messages are kind of like the 3 avenues in order to get these invites out. So your daily posts, and this is a whole call topic on itself. It was like posting to your target market, and knowing your brand and all that fun stuff. So that's something I can definitely do another day. But basically, in a nutshell, think of who you're attracted to. You know, if you weren't already a Beachbody coach, who would you be attracted to? Would you be attracted to somebody who is like sharing only Beachbody, vomiting Beachbody every single day? Or are you going to be more attracted and more inclined to follow, comment, like, interact, engage with someone who's more showing like their whole selves, like well-rounded? What you post is what you attract. So if you want these rock star people who are going to come onto your team and become rock star coaches themselves, you're kind of already setting the example before they even join your team. I think that was on the National Wake Up Call just on Monday. You know, like she was talking about how she's already teaching her coaches what to do through her posts. So think of that, like when you go to post and stuff, like when you have someone who's going to join your team or who's thinking about joining your team, even if you don't know it yet, they're already kind of seeing what they need to do if they were to join you. And I know for a fact people do not want to be salesy. They don't want to vomit Beachbody. Like I just talked to a prospect the other day and I was like, yeah, I mean, if you look at my page, you'll see like I sprinkle in coaching and fitness, but like I talk about a lot of other things too. And she's like, yeah, I really like that. So think about, you know, like kind of what example you're setting, like what message you're putting out there for people who might want to coach also. But what you post about is what you attract. So if you're going to post about negativity or politics or like stupid, silly stuff, that's what you're going to attract. You're going to attract these like negative Nellies. But if you're posting about what you enjoy and what makes you you, you're likely going to be attracting other coaches or at least clients who you have a lot in common with. And if you have a lot in common with them, they're more likely going to, you know, have that better experience in your challenge group, and they're going to probably be more likely to join as a coach because you guys have that like vibe, right? Your post should be about your brand. Think of the top 5 things that make you you. That's what you should be posting about. And every time I go to post, literally like every single day, I'll go and I'll pull up like my latest 9 or 12 or whatever. And I'm like, okay, what am I missing? Like nutrition, Shakeology, you know, transformation, my son, coaching, just daily life. Think about what you haven't posted in a while. I do have that posting schedule for new coaches. It's in the files group, in the group. If you're, you know, stuck on what to post about. Private messages. So this is essentially, so all that other stuff is kind of getting you in that mindset. Posting and your stories is kind of, you know, like the precedent to your invites that are about to come. Because if you message somebody about your fitness boot camp, especially if it's the first time you're inviting them, they might think to themselves like, oh, okay, like that's kind of cool. I wonder, you know, what else she has going on. And then they go to your page and you haven't posted in 4 days, or you haven't done any stories all day, and you have nothing about health or fitness in your stories or your posts. They're probably not going to be likely to join you because that's such a mixed message. Like, your content in your private messages has to match the content on your page, has to match the content in your stories. And it doesn't mean you have to vomit all this stuff. It just has to be sprinkled in there so that like when you're inviting them to this fitness thing, you have it somewhere in like your last 9 posts on Instagram. So it's not totally random and out of the blue. It also Sorry. It also gives you credibility too.
I was going to say, I am a rock star when it comes to stories. Like, I can show you my daily life all day long, but I do not know what to write in a post, like, ever. And like, and it's me, like, I haven't wrote anything in 4 days because I'm like, it takes me 4 days, and I'm like, I'm in a little pod thing, and I'm like, where do you guys get this inspiration all the time? I don't get it. So that's where I struggle at.
Have you, you have that posting schedule I sent you, right?
Yes.
Yeah. I definitely think posting gets easier with time and experience. Like, the more you do it, the easier it gets.
Okay. I mean, I can record myself working out and do the things, and then like share my kids and do all that. But then I'm like, I have nothing. And I know this is just me. I'm like, I have nothing beneficial to say to you, you know, anybody. So anyways, like I said, that's just my mindset. So I definitely need to get out of that. So.
But also, not every post has to be like this, like, inspirational thing. You know, like they say, people come online to be educated, informed, or entertained.
Oh.
So, like, you know, maybe you want to give a recipe. Maybe you just post a picture of like one of your dinners or something and you give a recipe. Or maybe people just want to be entertained with, you know, something to do with like your kids or something. It doesn't always have to be this like really like mind-boggling motivational thing, you know?
Okay. Well, yeah. I mean, like,
I was going to add, no, I was going to say, I think Danielle said it too. If I struggle with, like, if I know I need something that's like motivational, I open up like a personal development book, or like go to Rachel Hollis' book or something, and like grab some quote. I'll attribute it, but then like I'll put something with words with that, because that's typically something that's super motivational, and I didn't have to like think of it from the beginning.
Sure.
So like anything you read is always really helpful to get inspiration. But just like Brooke said, yeah, I mean, a lot of posts, I think you don't have to always have something like super long and, you know, super deep. It can be very surface level.
Something profound and yeah. And like before, like I would post all the time, and then I became a coach, and I'm like, okay, now Scott, like I have to like buckle down on my Facebook or Instagram or whatever, and then I go ghost. But I'm not really ghost, like I'm there doing all the things. Anyways, okay, I'll let you get back to your thing.
That's okay. I love it. Okay, so when it comes to private messages, you just have to get it done, again, because you're not going to change somebody's life unless you are messaging them. You have to make it a game, make it fun. Like, if that's what it takes, make it a game, make it fun. You know, like way back when, to the Haley Christian days, if those of you who don't know her, she's like a top coach, and she had this hashtag that was "Don't be a bitch, hit send," and she would put on, her thing was like gangster rap. She would put on gangster rap for like 20 minutes, and she would like get herself in the zone, like feeling like a badass, and just sending out, I think it was like 20 something invites or something. Like, so for her, it was like a mindset thing. Like, as long as she was in the zone, her gangster rap was on, she was like plugging away at her invites. And for her, that's what it took. And that's awesome. Make it a game, like set a timer, like 30 minutes. I'm going to send out 20 invites. Like, go. Because then you're not thinking about, you're not second guessing that it's the second time, the third time that you've messaged this person. You're not second guessing because you went to high school with them and you're wondering what they're going to think of you. You're more concerned with beating the clock and getting in that number before the timer goes off. So whatever you have, not saying you have to do this, but whatever it's going to take for you to get it done, like, get it done. Like, there's just no like easy way around it. You just have to get it done. Set a goal number for yourself. Like, you know, make sure your actions are meeting your goals. If you have big, hairy, scary goals in this business, 3 invites a day is not going to cut it. I shoot for 20 invites a day, and that's still not even, you know, we have people in this business who do like crazy amounts. But you have to find the sweet spot for you. You have to find something that works for your schedule, something that but also fits your goals and your why. So places I invite from are my list of story viewers. Yeah, it sucks now on Instagram. They go away after 24 hours, but I try to catch one that's before the 24 hours is up, literally just go through your Facebook friend list. Just go through the whole list, man. Like, go through the list. Your Instagram followers list. Like, that's lots of people. You should never feel like you don't have anybody to invite. Or the people who are liking your posts. You can still see your story viewers on Facebook too. So you can, and those don't archive, like those don't go away. You can see them even after the 24 hours. So that's helpful too. Like I said, this helps you focus more on the timer of the game and less on what you're actually doing, if what you're actually doing is still feeling uncomfortable for you, because you just have to be in that mindset that doesn't matter how you feel. It doesn't matter that it's uncomfortable for you, because it's all about them and you having the opportunity to change their life more than what you care about how you're feeling in the moment. These are just some example invites. So you can feel free to take a snapshot of this. I can post this. I can post these two in the group, but if you want to take a quick, there's just a couple just to kind of get you started. I know from time to time I'm always looking for kind of new ones. So just keeping it really simple and breezy. I always try to use their name. You'll see I have Hey Girl here, but I always try to use their name if like their page says it. Like, hey girl, I hope all is well. And the way you're talking in your private messages, like I said before, should match the way you're talking in your stories, should match the way you're talking in your posts. Like if you're like trying to be this like really cool, calm, casual person in your invites, but like you don't act that way in your stories, that's going to be a little uncomfortable for your followers too. Like the same person they see in all these different avenues of social media should be the same person. So like, hey girl, I hope all is well. I just wanted to reach out and ask if you had any health or fitness plans for the spring and the summer. I have a few spots left in my May Clean and Lean Virtual Fit Club, and I'd love to tell you more about it if you're interested. You don't have to like word vomit all of the details about what they get. Just keep it cool, calm, and collected. Hey girl, I just wanted to thank you for consistently following my journey. So this would probably be a really good one, like if someone's following your story. Your support means so much to me. I was wondering if you had any interest in jumping into my next virtual bootcamp. Like really cool, calm. Hey girl, I've noticed you capturing glimpses of my stories. Thank you for supporting my journey. It means the world to me. I'm not sure if you'd be interested, but I'm having open enrollment for my next bootcamp. I'm providing all the exercise and nutrition support. Is this something you might be interested in, or do you already have a routine working for you? Like just really casual. Keep it simple. Use, some people find it easiest, best, fastest to use like voice messages versus video messages. There's a while there that I was doing video messages, or just, plain and simple text invites. Forming or don't forming, like I said, I feel like if you're a rock star or just pretty decent at posting consistently, posting your whole brand, posting every aspect of your brand, posting on your stories, I really don't think that forming is super important. I know a lot of people get hung up on forming. What do you form about? How long do you form for? How do you change from forming to inviting? And that shit's just going to like stall you. And that's going to it's going to put you out of that mindset that you're trying to help other people. Because again, that's all, if you can hear that, like that's all about you. Like how much do I form? When do I invite? Like that's all having to do with your comfort level, not with the fact that you're trying to help them. So you just have to invite. I tell people, like, if you want to form a little bit, that's totally cool. But once that conversation dies, that's your opportunity to invite. Just invite them. Don't overthink it. Just do it. You can't say the wrong thing to the right person. Just invite them. When in doubt, invite. Like it's time to invite them. But I know a lot of people, like Kate Schultz doesn't even inform. Like she doesn't inform at all. But she's a fucking rock star when it comes to like her stories and stuff. So it's, up to whatever you feel is like works for you gotta have to find like your system and what works for you. But you need to worry less about forming and be more concerned with more inviting, because that's how you're going to change somebody's life. Not knowing about their dog or knowing where they live or where they grew up or what they did for work, like that's not going to change their life. Like if you can have all of that in like a short, sweet conversation at the beginning and then kind of go into health and fitness, that's totally cool. But your forming shouldn't like go on and on for like 3 or 4 days. When somebody actually responds, my little segue is like, so I'll say, are you into fitness too or whatnot? Or, are you interested in, so going back to these invites, like, are you interested in learning more about my boot camp? And they're like, yeah, that'd be great. I know sometimes, especially as new coaches, we can be like, oh shit, okay, now what do we say? And I could type this blind. There's actually a bunch of different options. Would it be okay if I asked you a few questions so I can get a better idea of how I can help you best? Like, I don't think I've ever had someone say no. They're like, yeah, sure. Because you're showing them that you have their best interest at heart. Like, I'm not just trying to sell you something. I truly need to get to know you a little bit. I'm not going to take too much of your time, but I need to get to know you a little bit so I can make the best recommendation for you. Because for all you know, somebody's been working out consistently for a year. So the 21-day fix is not going to be for them. Like, 21-day fix is not going to help them. They need like hammer and chisel, or like you need to find out more about their nutrition to know if 2B or containers is, you have to get more information. You can't just assume that 21-day fix is for everybody. So while that allows you to get to know them a little bit more, it also gives them the opportunity to see that they can really trust you and that you have their best interest at heart. So I ask these questions. Wait for the answer in between. I ask one at a time. Wait for the answer in between. These are like my 4 go-to. Obviously, yours don't have to look exactly like mine. I'm just trying to give you like an idea here. Can you tell me about your current fitness and nutrition habits? What, if anything, do you struggle with? Have you ever tried following a scripted fitness and nutrition program before? If so, which ones? Do you think you could squeeze in a 30-minute workout from home most days? I don't expect people to work out 7 days a week. What would you say are your short-term and your long-term health goals? So I ask one at a time. In between each one, I'm making sure they feel validated. Feel, felt, found. Here's just an example. Like if somebody tells me that they hate going to the gym because they never knew what to do, I'd say, and I can truly, you might have to like sometimes like stretch the truth a little bit, but for the most part, I really try to find a way that I can relate to them. But even if you totally can't, you can kind of fudge it a little bit. Like use feel, felt, found. Oh my God, I totally know exactly how you feel. I felt the same way before I started following these programs too. I would literally go to the gym and do the same 3 machines because I had no clue what I was doing. And I always felt like people were staring at me, haha. So what I found was that I do way better following these programs at home. No one is watching, and I literally just follow the trainer and get results. And they're going to write back and be like, oh my God, yeah, that's exactly how I feel. Like you're going to go back and forth a little bit. Ask these questions one at a time, feel, felt, found, relate to them, whatever, before you move on to the next one. So think about, and so you're going to have that conversation. You're going to ask those 4 questions, and then you're going to be able to make that recommendation. 9.5 times out of 10, they're probably going to get the Beachbody On Demand All Access Challenge Pack with Shakeology, but now we have, Ultimate Portion Fix. You have to kind of, again, that's why you're asking these questions, to get a feel for what is the best avenue for them. Then you're going to talk about price. I do the 2 options, and that didn't come from me. That came from Christina. I should have put this in here. Because at first with the Ultimate Portion Fix, I was like, well, which one do I offer? So I actually give them the option. I tell them that there's 2 options. And they get to pick. I put it in the chat. So it's actually 2 options. You can get all of this. It's like a $275 value for $160. That includes everything I mentioned above. Or for $40 more, you can get a deeper dive into the same nutrition program with the educational videos behind it, along with a logbook and recipe book. Oh, and a set of the portion control containers too. It's a bit more expensive, but I think option 2 is the better value. Which one do you think you'd want to start with? So you're giving them like all the options and kind of putting the ball in their court. Unless through asking those questions, it's like super clear that one is for them over the other. I usually give the option. So think about, what we're really selling. I always use my air quotes because, we're not selling we're trying not to sell products here. We're selling the experience, and we're selling the lifestyle, and we're selling the community, and we're selling the relationship. Get intentional about why you're doing this. Why are you excited to help this person? Like this one person who you're currently talking to, what is it about him or her that makes you really excited? Like, what is it about their life that you can help them with? What are they struggling with that you have the answer to? Like, what are you excited about? Why are you doing this? You're not selling to people. You are simply extending the invite to something that has changed your life. Like I said before, if you're not inviting, you're just robbing the opportunity for them to change their life. So the opposite of that is by inviting, you're extending the opportunity for them to change their life. If you don't ask, the answer is always going to be no, plain and simple. Go for no. The more no's you get, that just means the more invites you're doing and the closer you are to your next yes. Less forming, get to the invite. If the convo dies, invite. Stop second guessing it. Maybe you're inviting someone who needs this way more than you do. I heard on a call, like this girl who had helped this other girl who eventually became a 6-figure earner, and then she came down with like a pretty serious cancer, and she couldn't work like her full-time job, but thankfully she was making enough with Beachbody that she could focus on her health and beating the cancer rather than, having to balance cancer and life. And so it's just, you just never know like how this business is going to affect somebody else that you are inviting. So think about, if it makes you uncomfortable to invite someone, think about how, the fact that they may need this, whether it's the business or the health and fitness or whatever, how they may need it more than you do. And last but not least, have fun. This business should be fun. I always think of Pat saying that, like if this business isn't fun, it means you're doing something wrong. And last but not least, like what's the alternative? If you're not inviting and you're not moving your business forward and you're not reaching your goals and you're not attaining your why, like what's the alternative? Like for me, the alternative is like going back to a 9-to-5 teaching job. Like, no. Going back to my shitty commute. No. Going back to, answering to my boss. No. Like just think about what's the alternative. Instead, just get out there and invite, change some lives. And in turn, you're going to be changing your own life. That's all I got. Do you have any questions? Look at the chat. Me, I stay in the forming stage. Get out of the forming stage. Stop forming. Just invite them. Any insight, any comments, questions, concerns? Type in the chat before we go. Where did my chat box go? Type in the chat what your number of invites is every day. How many invites do you try to do a day? And it's not a competition. It's whatever it is for you. Now ask yourself, that number you just put there, like, does that match your goals? Does that match your why? And I think too, if you can get into this mindset that we talked about at the beginning, that it's about them and not you and whatever, and if you're not second guessing who you're inviting, how many times you've invited them, your invite should go faster. You should be able to do more. You know what I mean? Like you should be able to do 20 or 30 in 30 minutes. If you're just busting them out and not giving a crap about who it is you're inviting, you're simply just reaching more people in hopes to change more lives. So if you want to up your numbers, I encourage you to find more pockets of time in your day to just bust out like 5 invites. And I know, Joe, you've gotten better at that. Joe's been working really hard at that. Like You don't need to, I remember way back when Joe and I would talk, like, you don't need to sit down for 30 minutes to do your invites. You can do 5 invites here, and you can do 5 invites there. That's, we talk about that, pockets of time. You can use those pockets to invite. Like, inviting is the bread and butter of this business. If you're not inviting, you're not going to have a business. So use those pockets to invite. It's tough at work. Yeah, totally. But like, maybe set a goal to do 10 before work and 10 after work. So long bathroom breaks. They probably think you have some like GI issues or something. Where's Joe? Oh, he's in the bathroom again. I drink a shit ton of water. So if you're
a kid, but it totally helps to carry, if you're at work and you struggle with that shit, it totally helps. Literally, you go to meetings like I do, carry a 32-ounce water with you everywhere, and just like, even like just sneak into the bathroom when no one's looking, dump it, and then fill it up again. And everyone's like, "Yeah, just drink a 5th one of these." And no one's gonna say, "Dude, you gotta calm on the water." Everyone's like, "Oh, you drink a lot. I wish I drank as much as you." Yeah, well, the trouble is that I'm always peeing. Like, I have to go to the bathroom like every hour. So hey, it is what it is.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but if you're going to the bathroom for 2 minutes and you're not giving a crap about who you're inviting and you're just sending off 5 invites.
Yeah, if you just go and then send out 5, literally it adds like 2 minutes to the bathroom break.
Mm-hmm.
But it's such a lifesaver.
You don't have to sit there and think about what you're going to say. Have a couple of different scripts, already saved onto your phone, and you just go to your phone and you pick.
Google Keep is like the bomb.
Google Keep is awesome.
Google Keep is awesome, and I don't even know if I know fully how to use it like to its fullest yet. I'm just like dumping stuff in it. It's getting messy, but it's such a help that you just and then just go.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway.
Okay. If you number the item, it groups it. Oh, if you hashtag the item, it groups it. Nice.
In Google Keep?
Yeah, like if you, after your post, if you put a hashtag and you put whatever, it'll then.
I think you need to like leave a call and do like a Google Keep tutorial. Because I think that would be a great topic for you to do for the call. Because people like me, I just start using it, and
I do too, Joe.
I don't know all the bells and whistles, so
yeah, me too.
You can color code too.
I figured out how to color code.
Okay,
that's a lifesaver because if everything's white, I just can't deal with it.
But yeah, every time you come across a new invite, save it to your phone, save it to Google Keep. And then every day when you wake up, you pick a new one or use the same one a couple days in a row and just use it all day and bust it out. I think you'd be really surprised. If you made inviting a priority, I think you'd be surprised by how many more you can get done throughout the day. And made it a priority, but also really use those pockets of time really efficiently. All right, I'm going to wrap up because I don't want to take everybody's time. I appreciate you guys hopping on. I appreciate you being flexible with the day change. Let's take a picture before we hop off. And I will get this uploaded right now, and I'll add it to the group. Okay? All right, ready? 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. Awesome. Okay, guys, thank you so much. If you have any questions, obviously don't hesitate to ask. Okay? I'll talk to you guys later.